December 10th, 2025. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Hatch Valley Public Schools Board of Education meeting. Go ahead and get started with a call to order. Vice President Legarreta.
Here.
Member Garay.
Here.
Member Marcus is absent tonight. Secretary Montes
Here.
and myself, President Gonzalez, are present. Could we all stand for pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Item number 1 on our agenda tonight is the approval of the consent agenda. The items are the approval of the agenda, the approval of minutes for the regular board meeting 11/12/25, and the approval of November 2025 bills. Is there any discussion before we hear a motion?
I don't have anything.
Okay, seeing no discussion, do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve as is.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as is. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Item number 2, superintendent report.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, well, we've got a lot of information to go over, as you can see on the agenda. We've got a full agenda, and so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to, we haven't done this, and we've kind of neglected this, it kind of fell off, and we're bringing it back. And that's the Heart of the Bear Award. And so for this first time around, we thought that since we just finished all the fall sports, we have a lot of kids that are being recognized for their hard work and their talent. And I just want to say that, you know, in the class that we find ourselves in, it's a really difficult class being part of the 3A. And because we have a lot of private schools, and because of that, we don't have the same kind of resources. There's not always equity when it comes to that. However, our kids, I've said this before and I'll continue to say this, our kids have a resiliency like unlike anything I've seen. And our kids, a lot of times are the underdogs, but they go out there and they give it their all, they give of themselves, they sacrifice, they're dedicated, they're committed. And it's always a pleasure to watch them compete at the level that they compete. And so with that, we've got coaches that are going to introduce their players. And so if I can get the coaches come up. And they will be saying a little bit about their season, and then they'll go on into recognizing the people that will be recognized.
Good evening, Mr. President, School Board, Mr. Chavez, Vicente Zamora, girls soccer coach. I just first want to come off and tell you guys how much your support has gone a long way. We have a lot of kids playing soccer, and if you go around the state and you notice how many kids are playing sports, there's not as many kids playing sports anymore. So we're very fortunate in this community to have that level of commitment between our boys and our girls. I'll let Mr. Hernandez speak in a little bit, but the support that you guys have given us, I'll just briefly go over the lights, you know what I mean, the update of the field, the scoreboard, and I'll let Mr. Hernandez go on some of the other stuff, but don't think that you guys have an impact on the field. It has a huge impact on the field. And it translates to supporting the girls and the boys and throughout their high school careers. So those little things, I know some of those decisions are hard decisions. They're impactful. We have a JV, and we're the only one in 3A to have a JV, so we have to play Cruces. And this year we had to go to Rio Rancho to play the C team, but to have the ability to do that, it's a big deal for our program, and that comes from you guys, and that's a huge thing, because you could say like, no, you guys got to stay within the certain allowance limits, and we wouldn't be able to play anybody, and that's how we get kids to come out, is by being able to play games. So with that, I'll thank you, and I'll introduce the girls. Captain Elisa Delgado, she was all district, all state. Captain Maggie Reyes, she was all district.
Have them come up.
Come on, come on
yeah,
up, come
have
on,
'em
girl.
up.
Senior Olivia Zamora, she was all district and all state. And freshman Ashley Zamora, she was all district and all state as well.
One thing,
Girls, come on.
let's nip it, I'm up there and we'll have everybody.
All right. Good evening, board. Just to go off of what Coach Zamora was saying, been doing this for 12 years and we took a program and we've, tried to grow it and grow it. And this year was probably one of the biggest numbers that we've had, close to 70 compared with combined with the boys and the girls. So we were very proud of that because we love to represent our community. It is always tough because we have to play all those private schools, but we're up for the challenge. And this year was tough. The last couple of years been tough. A few years ago, we were in the final. We still keep our eye on that final, and we'll get there again. But regardless of any of that stuff, me and Coach Zamora have really made our core values the center of our teams. And that's one thing that these boys this year really did really well. They represented the core values for us, which is respect, discipline, and brotherhood. And so with that, I'm gonna let Captain Ethan Vasquez introduce and talk a little bit too, and he'll introduce the rest of the players. But Ethan was he was a first district all team, first team all state. The coaches he was an all-star, and then he was the MVP for the district. So he has a lot of accolades. And then the rest of the guys were, he'll introduce them, and then I'll remind them what they won. Let's go.
Right. Okay. So, first of all, before I introduce them, I want to start. Thank you, everyone here that showed up. It takes a lot of time and dedication from your time to be here, and I also want to, thank the staff members, the coaches, the players, and most importantly, you guys, because you guys provide us with the resources and to being able to, go out there and play and all these amazing things is just great. We're gonna start with Aiden Moreno here. He was a first team all district goalkeeper, and he also played striker. And he always, every single time he went out there, he always played with heart. And no matter the problems or consequences he faced through, he always kept going and went through it. Second, I want to introduce Christian Cruz. He was a first team midfielder for district. Again, amazing guy out there. I mean, every single time, again, he stepped foot on that pitch, he gave it all, and he always contributed to the team, and that's all we built for. Third, I want to start introducing Johnny Garcia.
John?
Second team all district defender. Johnny Garcia is one of those guys that, he never gave up. I mean, a couple of years ago, he had an injury. I think he broke his pinky during one of the games. But, he played tough through it and he always kept pushing and kept going. And I'm really, glad to be able to play alongside him. Fourth, I want to introduce Isaiah Carranza, first team all district. Man, I mean, this man right here, he has everything. He has talent, he has ambition, he puts hard work and dedication and everything. And he's one of those guys that you may not know a lot about him, but by the way you're looking at him and his actions, you can tell that he's an amazing person. Next, I want to introduce Manuel Gomez, second team all district. This guy right here, I mean, he was always happy to play. He never complained about anything. You know, every single time he got the opportunity, chance to go out there, he always smiled. He was would be one of those persons that, you know, we would be having a rough day and everything, and he would still be smiling out there. And that support, really, you know, contaminated to all of us. That no matter, you know, what we face through, we go through, we always are proud to be here. We always are grateful and thankful to be here another day. And every single time we, you know, play out there, get the opportunity and chance, we play out there with a smile. Next, we got Alex Bautista, second team all district. Alex is one of those guys that, you know, ever since he was little, you can tell his ambition and hard work and dream. He always, you know, play out there with everything that he got, even though, you know, he went through a lot this season, a lot of challenges, a lot of problems, but he still went out there and still demonstrated and still continued, kept going. And that determination is what really, you know, brought him up and what really brought us up whenever we were losing or whenever we were going down. Lastly, we have Alexis Sainz, first team all district defender. Also, first team all state. This guy right here, I can say a lot of things. I could keep going and going over and over and over. This man, I've been playing with him since seventh grade, sixth grade, since I saw him. I remember in middle school, the times that we would go out there and play together, kicking the ball and everything. And no matter what, we always stayed together. We always stayed connected. Whenever we were going through tough moments, we both have each other's back. We'd always be there for each other. And we always try our best to not only lift ourselves up, but our team. I mean, amazing player, amazing person overall. You know, he's always happy and glad and thankful that that he's here alive and that he's able to play. He's like a brother to me, and you know, I bet he's a good role model for these players and for some of the younger players. Um, Great person, great athlete, and I hope he does well in the future.
We didn't forget, but we forgot. Coach Sanchez has been probably our biggest advocate, and and the kids know he's out there every day, supporting them, and obviously a lot of stuff is that we've gotten, and even helping us work with schedules and everything. You know, we just don't want you to forget that you're the man. All right, thank you.
Now I feel really awkward coming up here. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna do a little bit of the volleyball since coach isn't here, but you know, Kuka knows. We had two members of first team all district, and I'd like to call them both up here, and I'm gonna let them introduce themselves.
Yay. Hello, my name is Sophia Holkeen. Me and Alexa were both captains this year. And yeah, we had a really good season. We've both been playing since we were in 8th grade. We've been through a lot together throughout our 5 years, and we're very thankful for everything that the whole district does and for like our coaches. We couldn't do it without them. So thank you.
You can say it in Spanish. Just thank you for this wonderful season with all my girls.
All right. To go off of what Coach Hernandez and Vicente says, appreciate everything you've done for us. The main thing is our new field house, man. It's a big upgrade from what we have. If anyone's seen it or been in it, it's a huge upgrade, and I really appreciated it. I'll go ahead and announce our boys and their awards for this year. We'll start off with David Dumas. He was first team all district, and second team all state running back. Next will be Pete Bothma. He was first team all district and first team all state linebacker. Next is Esteban Castillo, first team all district and second team all state inside linebacker. Oh, and he was an all-star. Next is DeMarcus Alanis. He was second team or first team all district, second team all state receiver, honorable mention, all state DB, and an all-star. Lastly, we got Omar Gonzalez. He was second team all state linebacker, first team all district, and he was awarded the MVP of our team.
So that's all of our fall sport athletes. I want to say something real quick to the coaches because we forget sometimes as hard as the kids work, as hard as the stuff they do, it's the coaches that have to cultivate that talent. They have to find a way to motivate it on a daily basis, get the kids there. And all our coaches have done a great job of building that. Super proud to be able to watch them and see all their successes. And I thank you guys for the board and Mr. Chavez for recognizing them tonight.
You guys hold on. We've got pins for you guys. Take a picture.
Oh, that's. Patrick gets going. Más altos en el back, ¿no? And you. Thanks.
Let's see. Can we scoot over? Just take 2 steps to the left, everybody.
2 big steps.
He said to the left, my left. Okay, you got board members get in. We missing? No, we got all, okay, great. All right.
One, two, three.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right.
All right. Ahora sí. I think so. I just saw him. Pretty good in well, why aren't you? Yeah, but you do feel hard. Yes. No sé. Maybe so.
No, I got it last. Okay, all our athletes are welcome to stay, or if you need to be somewhere, you're also dismissed, whatever you decide.
They're like, we're out.
Yeah, right. Okay, the second piece on, second item on, the superintendent's report is the, New Mexico Vistas data. And, Isaac, if we can get that's the one with the link. All right, very good. I'm not going to go over all of this. If you get into the New Mexico the Vistas website, there's a lot of information that still needs to be uploaded from PED, and that'll come, I believe, in the middle of January. I believe its expected date is January 15th. But we do have the scores and proficiency scores, our assessment scores. And you can see on that first row. Well, before I even do that, I think I mentioned this before, but let me mention it again. All of our schools are in good standing. And so that's, that's a result of all the hard work that our principals and our staff do. And so we're all in good standing in all categories. And so this is district level data that we're going to be going over today. We've gone over the proficiency rates in the past. And so I'm not going to, I got a summary of all this and I'll share with you, but I just wanted to bring up the website to go over where you find all this information. So Isaac, if you'll click on the explore this section under the math one. And when you click on this, it'll give you a breakdown of all of our subgroups. And so this is a breakdown of all how we scored overall and all of our different subgroups that we have in the district. And there's also a comparison to the state of New Mexico. So you can see how we rated against the state of New Mexico. And, we've talked about our math proficiency being at 15%, still low, but it's an increase over last year. And we'll go over that here in a little bit. But Isaac, if you scroll down, you'll see our participation rate is less than or greater than 98%. And so we're doing a really good job of making sure that our kids are participating in the assessment. And again, it's all subgroup data. Okay, if you scroll down some more, and of course, there's your non-participation. And we're always going to have kids that either miss the assessment or something comes up, maybe they're sick and they're just not at school. And then the last piece is the performance levels. And so we've talked about performance levels in the past, and I know the school board came up with goals for last year, or it came up with them last year for this year. And part of that was the performance level. We looked specifically at level 1 and decreasing the amount of kids in level 1. And so you can see that we still have a lot of kids in level 1 but actually, it's an improvement from last year, and I'll show that here in a little bit. Okay, if you can go back now, Isaac. And all of them are going to be the same structure. Reading proficiency, go ahead and click on explore the section. You'll see the same sort of thing, subgroup. You'll see how we compared to the state of New Mexico. I think I mentioned this last month that, we're on par with the state of New Mexico. And that is a big accomplishment given our demographics, and when you have over 50% of your kids identified as L's, you don't see this kind of scores, it's usually a lot lower now. If you break it out in the subgroup, you can see that way over to the right, you'll see our English language learners. And I'm really, really proud to see that we are outperforming the state of New Mexico with our L's. And so I think this is just a testament to the work that is going on at the school sites, not just with content, in this case, reading and in math, but also in language development. And so we're really proud of that. And we just need to keep moving forward. We've done a lot of work over the years to address some of the subgroups. As noted in the past, we've got our migrant program, have our homeless program, of course, our ELLs, our SPED. And these are the ones that really focus on, that equity piece. And you can see that at least in reading, we're doing really well in a lot of these compared to the state of New Mexico. And so really proud of that. A lot of celebration that we should have here. Go ahead and scroll down, Isaac. And again, the participation, continue to scroll all the way down. Okay. And then there's your performance levels. And I didn't know how to bring all this, comparing last year to this year. So I've actually got, like I said, a summary of that we'll present next. Okay, go ahead and go out. And again, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that's not here. Yeah, we can skip the science one, Isaac. Yeah, let's just, okay, and just scroll down from there. And you'll see growth, where we stand. And you can see that our growth, we've got a lot of growth that we've been able to anything over 50% percentile is good. And so you can see that we're doing really well. And even though we're low in math, we're growing. And that's a good indication. In math, we're at the 66 percentile. Graduation rate is still up 2.3. And even though we dropped a couple of points, we're still up. And so so we're really, really proud of what's going on. We know we're on the right, we're pointed in the right direction, moving in the right direction. Okay, and if you continue to scroll down, a lot of this is not in there. And so, like I said, there's I think it's going to be populated in at the middle of January, and so we'll look at that a little more closely when that happens. But that's the Vistas, New Mexico Vistas. That's where you can find all our information and how we're doing in the district. And so, if you need the link, we can send you the link, or just type in, Google, New Mexico Vistas, and it'll pop up. Okay, so Isaac, we got the other PowerPoint. And as I mentioned, I just did a quick summary and doing the comparison last year to this year. And so you'll see in this first graph, again, looking at the different performance levels, level 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then overall proficiency. You'll see that one of the goals that the school board wanted to make sure that we were moving in that direction was level 1. And so you'll see that we decreased level 1 in this first one in math from 66 to 49%. And so we're moving kids from the left to the right, which is where we want to be. And then overall on proficient, we went from 7% to 15%. Okay, scroll down. Okay, here's reading. Again, if you look at level 1, from 37 to 26. And proficient from 32 to 43. Those are huge gains, guys. And I hope you recognize, the hard work that went into this, because we really did really well. And so we're pushing this year to achieve the same kind of scores as last year. So the next one is science. I did compare the science, even though I think in the goals that were developed, I think science only focused on proficiency, not necessarily on level 1, but you can see even in level 1, we did decrease that. And in proficiency, we pushed up 9 points. Is it 9 points? 8. And the only thing that I can find right now that we didn't do well, I guess it's how you look at it, but we did go down in attendance. And so I think the only school that maintained was middle school. So bravo to you guys for continuing to have a 92% attendance rate. But overall, we did drop 10 points in the district from 94 to 84. And so we're looking at that, what happened in 23-24 that we've got everybody above 90%. And then, so what happened that when we know? So we're looking at data entry. Was it data entry? Was it that we, and one of the things that we've been talking a lot of, especially now because we're still trying to validate our 40-day numbers and now we have 80-day that we're working on as well. And one of the things that we have to do a better job and we're working on is the data that we put in to the SIS. And if we got bad data going in, we're going to get bad data coming out. And so that's why it's very, very important that we get it right, we get it correct, because then it does show up on something like this. Now, I don't know, we haven't really been able to dissect, what happened between 24 to 25. But we'll be looking at that a little more closely and making sure that we get that back up to 90% and above. Okay, and that's all I have as far as. Is there any questions?
The elementary schools, Mike, significant.
Yes.
Is that due to,
Cause they're kids.
what's the percentage of is there illnesses or?
A lot of them
What's
are
the
illnesses
major-
and yes. And I think Mr. Mesa is here, right? I saw him earlier. I think Mr. Mesa, if you remember correctly, we had that discussion. You were talking about the number of kids that were sick during the school year.
Good evening. So that is true. I spoke with Mr. Chavez during the testing season, and last year was really not a stellar year. So we did have a few kids who weren't able to complete the assessments because it was, depending on the assessment, access was done in February, followed by a MESA in about April, May. And that's kind of a seasonal. We had a lot of kids out with flu and sick. And so even though some were able to return, they were able to complete the assessment during makeups, and then some weren't able to at all. So, and I've always asked the STCs from the school, just as long as they have that documentation, letting us know that they were out for medical reasons. It's usually,
They could make it up.
they can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we have to understand is, and it's a balancing act, right? And that is, when we have sick kids, we don't really want them in school, right? They need to be home, because then other kids get sick. And so it's one of those balancing acts. And so, sometimes parents, are overly protective and, maybe they should be in school, but then there's others. So it's one of those things that we continue to chase, and try to educate parents, when is it appropriate for them to stay home? When should they send them to school? And so, it's one of those things. And then of course, since I've been here, there's years where the flu hits us hard. And then other years where it's not as bad, it's not as severe. And I think last year was one of those years that it was pretty bad. And so there's just different factors that go into this. And so this is regular attendance. It's not chronic absenteeism. And so regular attendance. So we've got some kids that are doing really well, like I said, middle school but our elementaries are, we got to do a better job of working with parents, educating them. Again, when is it appropriate to keep them home? When is it okay to send them to school?
And if there's more than one kid from the family, say there's 3 kids in elementary, because one's sick, do they keep all 3 of them at home? Or do
Usually,
they send the other 2 to school?
in my experience and in my school, usually, because I do have that situation.
Yeah.
They usually send the other ones to school.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, so
Good.
it catches up, but eventually it does catch up with them. They're all in the same place, so, yeah.
What about
Well-
extracurricular activities?
Mhm.
When the system counts the students absent, if they don't attend the class because they're on a basketball trip? Does it
Those
count
kids,
towards-
no.
Okay.
Okay. Other questions? All righty. Thank you, Mr. Mesa.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. And the last piece on the superintendent's report is the field house. And she just said, oh, we should have had the football kids stay for that. But they lived it. Like I said, I don't think the slideshow is going to do it any justice because you can't smell what it used to smell like. You You can see it, but you can't smell it, you can't feel it, you can't, it's all the, yeah. I'm sure it's still ingrained, right?
Yeah. It's ingrained.
It,
Gunk
it, yes, and part of it, there was just a lot of inadequacies when it came to that field house. And so we have Leslie, and I know Leslie's not here, but I want to just point out that Leslie has done a phenomenal job of telling our story. And it's one of the things that I wish we had brought her on sooner because, the old saying of, be sure to tell your story because if you don't, somebody else will. And, but I think, and having that conversation with her about a month back, she said, gosh, I had no idea there was so much going on in the schools. And I said, yeah, I said, a lot of people don't. I said, but that's your job is to make sure that everybody sees what's going on. Yeah. Yeah. And so this is one of them. And she did a really good job of putting this together. And, one of the things that I had, that I was regretting was that I never took pictures of the before and then the after, but she found them, Sheila, and was able to find them and put them together. And so here we go. All right. This is one of the before. And this is actually clean. This is right before construction. It didn't look like that.
Still smells.
And one of the things that I want to point out with this picture is if you look at the far right, that was where they stored all the uniforms and all the equipment. It was to the far right. So, and I'm going to show you the transformation here. And there you go. Look how wide that is. What we did is we took all that storage in it and we just totally took it out and made a different room for that. And so you can see how wide it is. If you go back, Isaac, I want to point out that, oh no, stay right there. That's good. That's good. I want to point out these lights. We couldn't even find those lights anymore. They're the old single pin, 8-foot fluorescent bulbs. Like you can't even find those anymore. I'm sure if you special order them or something, but they don't make those anymore. And so we were in a bind here. And the other thing I want to just point out is look at on the left-hand picture up to the top there. That was the old heater. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, and but that's it. There's no ducking, there's no anything because there was no central HVAC to any of that. And so next slide. And there you go. Now we have ducting, we have air conditioning. This building didn't have air conditioning. And so all we had was one of those big portable units, and evaporative. But now they have a really, really nice facility with HVAC, refrigerated air. And it makes a big difference in the summertime, when it's 100 degrees outside and, you're in full pads. You need a place to come in and cool down. But you can see the transformation has just been amazing.
That's where the sauna is gonna come in. Wanda. They're gonna ice bath.
Okay, these are our facilities and you can see how disgusting they were. And yeah, they just were not appropriate. They were not, they just weren't good. And sometimes they worked, sometimes they didn't. And it just was, I think this is the one thing that just really disgusted me. But look at where we're at now. Okay. We've got a ADA restroom now and separate facility because here's the other thing is that, sometimes our trainers, in this case, Reagan would have student trainers and that were female. Well, we didn't really have an appropriate facility for them, and so now we do. Now we do. And so that's the left-hand picture. The right-hand picture is the locker room restrooms. Okay, next slide. This is the old equipment room. Okay, you can see how crowded everything was, how narrow and dark and just this one you can almost smell. Okay.
Yeah.
Brings back memories.
Okay, and this is what we have today. We have a totally separate room, lots of space. We have a checkout window so that they can check out equipment from. We have the washer and dryer that are over there so they can wash their uniforms. We have new racks so that they can hang their uniforms and all their equipment. It's really beautiful. The architects did an amazing job of utilizing space, and it just opened it up. I just couldn't believe the transformation. This is the old classroom. Oops. That's the new classroom. Okay. Well, the chairs are still the same. We're in the process of getting new chairs for them because you can see they're pretty worn out. But you can see they've got the, it's LED lighting. It's so bright. It's they have a big screen there, and so they don't have to use a projector anymore. And so just the transformation is just amazing. Okay. Here's the coach's office room. And so you can see a lot of clutter, just, it doesn't look good.
They used to smell too.
They used to smell also. Sometimes they smelled worse than the kids. But now we have this open space. We have each coach has their own work area, and they have that conference room table in the middle, all brand new. Okay. Here's the training area and the outside. You can just see, again, what our kids were subjected to, and now look at it. And you can see the showers. I mean, those are the same showers. They're just cleaned up, and we didn't do a whole lot with the restrooms because we didn't have the funds to. But it's amazing what, just cleaning them up and changing the lighting and making sure that the faucets work, the transformation with that. The outside, you can see on that right-hand picture, the outside, it's just, we had already painted the outside, but they did some more improvements to that. On the left-hand side, the picture, that is the training room. I think we're still waiting. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Sanchez, but I think we're still waiting on the equipment for the training room. Is that correct?
The training room has been postponed longer than the lockers have.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We're still waiting on the random match exactly what's in the gym training room equipment from Sam's.
Oh, nice. Nice. Okay. And is that the last one, Isaac? Okay, very cool. So the transformation has just been incredible, and I hope you have an opportunity to go over there and look at it. Our kids, they I looked at that, and I'm just going to say this because I just want to kind of give the background. I remember when I first got here in 2019, we were out in front of the central office, and it was Mr. Montes and I. And Mr. Montes pointed over to the field house and said, "Mike, that's our field house over there." He said, "I don't know how, but if you can do anything with that, please, do something there." And I told him, I said, "Yeah," I said, "Oh, let's see what we can do." But inside I was thinking, oh my God, how are we going to do this? Like, I had no idea how we were going to get that done. But it's one of the things that we put on the facility master plan. And Sheila, I've got to give credit to Sheila because Sheila found the money to make that happen. And so because of all that, we and everybody working together, our contractor ESA has just been phenomenal. They continue to do incredible work for us. Our architects, it's been a team effort, but everybody's done it with the same goal in mind, and that is to just provide our kids something different, something good. They don't have to be in something that's substandard. They deserve to have nice facilities, and that's what we worked on. To make that happen, and so we're glad we could do that for our kids. They deserve it. So, any questions? All right, great. Well, that concludes my superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Item number 3 is limited public comment. I do have 2 people for public comment today. I'm not sure. One of them was supposed to be online. Isaac, do we have anybody online?
I don't see.
Okay, so he was unable to make it. The next one would be Ms. Dora Chidas for limited public comment.
Good evening, Mr. President, board members, Mr. Chavez. I just have a question for the board, especially for Mr. President. For the last few weeks, I have been emailing the board with concerns from the community, and they have not been answered. Is there a reason for that? Are the concerns of the community not important to the board?
As Mr. Montes did mention at one of the previous board meetings, the candidates have been selected and the committee has been selected for the process.
Okay, and what about the other concerns? There's been 3 emails,
Remind me of the other concerns.
just about the transparency, in general with the community. The updates, I've requested, we did, sign a petition, several parents, and nothing has been answered.
I really don't have an answer for you. Would anybody else like to chime in?
Go ahead and just, get those emails. Mr. President. And, just make a response to the best of your ability. They deserve an answer.
About, one of the other emails was about the self-evaluations. Has the board conducted any of those?
We have not to this moment.
Is there a reason for that?
I don't know why we haven't done a self-evaluation. Has the board ever done a self-evaluation in the past?
Kuka, have we done? I was able to read those emails and, you're bringing up, valid issues. But that is something that we can hopefully work into our schedule. And we will surely let you guys know as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 4, new business. Item A, consider approval of the resolution for the disposal of surplus personal property.
Hey, we do have a disposal of surplus property. And this is for several vehicles, 2 Suburbans, an Impala, and a Polaris that are, as far as the vehicles are old, you can see they're from 2003. The Impala is 2007. The Polaris is, it's newer, but it's not, it doesn't work anymore. And it actually costs more to fix it than to get it replaced. We've looked at it, it's just not, we're not able to do that. And the last is one of our buses that is end of life. And so it's time to replace those. We have been replacing with new vehicles. And we've got a couple more that we're going to be replacing as well. And so this is to send these off to auction. And my recommendation is for approval.
Is there any discussion for item number 4?
No discussion. I would move to approve.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to consider approval of the resolution for the disposal of surplus personal property. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item number 5, items for future meetings. Are there any items for future meetings?
Yes, let's go ahead and start. Hopefully by next month's meeting, I would, not just myself, but I would encourage the entire board to work with President Gonzalez, and let's come up with a response as this community needs full transparency, and they deserve some answers. So hopefully if we can get together, we can discuss all that and bring it back to the community.
So we would want an executive session in our next.
Before our next meeting would suffice.
Before, you would like a
Yes.
special board meeting?
Yes, so that we can actually address it in front of the community at our next board meeting. I think they've waited long enough.
Are there any dates that would work for the board?
Is that something we could work outside of the meeting tonight? We can work on
No,
scheduling something, or we have to?
yeah, no, you'll have to come up with an agenda and again, go through the Open Meetings Act of 72 hours notice.
Okay,
And so you can do an executive session, you can do a work session, you can do whatever, you know.
I would feel comfortable doing an executive session to discuss said issues.
Okay. Do you have a date in mind?
I know we have the 17th on the calendar scheduled for interviews, I
Yeah,
believe.
but the next board meeting is the 14th, so we have the next boarding before. We'd probably want to do it. I'm thinking if you want to do a special board meeting, we probably want to do it before everybody goes on Christmas break. And you guys go on Christmas break, your last day is
The 19th.
the
Friday.
19th.
Yes, a week from Friday, yes.
So we probably want to do it the week of the 14th. Just to make sure, unless we wanted to wait until they came back from the Christmas break, but you guys don't come back till.
The staff comes back on the 12th. But some of the staff, it just depends, but I mean, this is your meeting, so it doesn't have to fall within when
Yeah,
the
but
staff
I'd
comes
hate to
back.
pull staff off their vacation. I don't want to do that to staff.
Oh, okay.
That have
I
to
see
be
what you're
here.
saying. I see what you're saying.
I don't know about you guys, but I would hate to do that to staff.
Why are you pulling staff?
Well, we'd have to have Isaac here. We'd have to have Elsa here. And that's during their break. I'd hate to do that to them. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I can't do it in December.
Sheila, don't we have 235s and 245s come on the 8th? Is that right?
Be here the fifth, and then everyone else make
Oh, okay.
the 210s. 203. 7:30.
Okay. We could actually make it work if
On January 7th.
if Andrew covered.
Would that work for everyone in here, January 7th?
I'm gonna go ahead and set that date aside for.
I'll have to look at my calendar. I don't have my calendar. This is this year's calendar.
Can we put that in for a special board meeting for January 7th to address community concerns and begin the process of discussion of a self-evaluation for the board? Are there any other?
Yes, there is some concerns on these gates being left open, Mike,
Which gates?
to the fields, football fields, even the entire, the pass through. Are we closing those gates on a daily basis, especially on Canal?
The athletic facility should be closed. And so we'll have to check in on that. But the gates, yeah, we need to get those closed.
Yeah, we need to have somebody solely responsible,
Right.
making sure those gates get closed,
Right.
because we need to protect our assets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything else?
Which gate? What?
There were some kids inside the baseball, inside the bleachers, they were just driving in. The softball field, pa' qué van ahí atrás? It's like,
Right.
there's no need for anybody.
No,
to
there's
be
not.
there.
There's
No.
not. There's no need for that. Okay, we'll make sure that those get closed up.
Okay, item number 6 is the next regular board meeting scheduled for Wednesday, January 14th, 2026 at 6 p.m. And then item number 7 is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn this meeting. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. I don't know if that, yeah.